Welcome everybody, it's Taormino here, and today's a great day because I got another memory. I keep remembering things and I can't stop remembering things. But today I'm going to be talking to you about a game that was released on the Super Nintendo, Kirby's Dream Course. Also known as Kirby's Bowl in Japan. It was released in 1994. Developers were HAL Laboratories, which you know that they were doing Super Smash Brothers, and also Nintendo EAD. Now, this game probably has a lot of attention now. The Game Grumps actually did a huge amount of Let's Plays because they had fans that had developed Kirby characters to look like the Game Grump heads, and they developed new new courses for them to play, and they played the Kirby's Dream Course heavily. Now, this game brings me far, far back. Growing up, it was weird. When I went to school in a city that was outside of the city that I lived in, because that's just where my babysitter was. And we would stay at her house, we'd go to school, we'd come back, my parents would then pick me up because it was closer to their jobs. So, I played a lot of sports growing up. Baseball, soccer, every single year, played those two. Eventually I transitioned out of soccer, went into football, and then stopped playing baseball when I went to high school, continued with football, track and field, and I went to professional wrestling. Whatever, that's beyond the point. I had different friends. Like, I had friends that I had from school, and then I had friends, like a circle of friends that I had from sports. Now, my best friend growing up had a similar name to my first name. My first name is Justin, if you guys don't know that by now. My best friend growing up, his name was Dustin. And me and Dustin, we would have sports games, we would have practice. Both of our fathers were, soccer coaches, baseball coaches, things like that. And we were very, very close. We went camping in Yosemite together, us and our other friend Hassani and his family. We went camping one year at Yosemite. It was a good old time. Anyway, Dustin and I would try to spend the night at each other's houses, and there was an excuse for us to just goof around and have fun and also play a lot of video games. Now, back in the day, it was cool to be able to go to a Blockbuster or a Hollywood Video and rent games out for the weekend, and it was like a perfect opportunity. Like, when I would either come, it was majorly I would go to his house. He would still stay the night at my house, but when we played Kirby's Dream Course, it was normally because I was spending the night at his place. He didn't own the game, but we rented it. We probably rented Kirby's Dream Course, 5-10 times maybe. We probably should have bought the game the amount of times that we actually rented the game. But every time that I would go and spend the night at his house, we would rent Kirby's Dream Course. And then we'd always rent a second game, when we would get tired of playing Kirby's Dream Course. But we both really loved this game. And with Kirby's Dream Course, you play as Kirby, and it's like a mini golf game. So you play as two different Kirbys, and you have a certain amount of shots, and you're trying to get to the hole. But in order to get the hole, you have to clear out all the enemies on the board first. And then once you clear out an enemy, that enemy turns into a star. So then that puts a star in your column. The person who has the most stars at the end of the amount of courses, the total amount of courses, then wins. So you say, for example, I can go and I can hit an enemy and hit another enemy, and that gives me 2 stars. Dustin could come in and swoop in and pick up both of those stars, and then since the third enemy was the final enemy on the board, that enemy would turn into a hole. He can swoop in and grab those 2 stars that I already grabbed, turn them to his stars, and bank his shot, and then get a hole in one, and then take all the stars for the round. So Dustin and I would stay up very, very late, oftentimes getting his parents to come out of their bedroom and tell us to either be quiet or go to bed. But we would have a blast playing this game. We would play it in all hours of the night. and it was just something that was so fun. And we wouldn't be able to completely clear the game. There were some games that you could rent and then you can beat it within like a weekend's time, and then it's like, okay, I don't need to play that game anymore because I was already beat the game. Kirby's Dream Course had so many different courses, and I can't recall us ever beating the game. And I'm not saying that we couldn't beat the game. I don't think that, like, out of all the times that we rented it, I don't think that we got through like every single course that was in the game, because I never remember replaying any courses. One of the fun things about the game too is that when you hit an enemy, certain enemies have special special abilities. So if you hit a snowman, you get like this ice ability. So when you need to try to cross a lake or like some sort of water hazard, you can hit your ability right before you're about to coast on the water, and you'll turn into like this ice Kirby, and then the ice or the water will freeze and you'll slide across the ice. Instead of normally you'll skip on the water and then fall in the water, and it's real difficult to get out. One of my favorite abilities is you can turn into like a rock. So say if you forgot to clear out an enemy on a ramp, and that ramp enemy ends up becoming the final hole, and it's difficult to get into that hole, you can shoot your Kirby into the air, and if you look at the shadow properly, you can turn into a rock and you'll drop right into that hole. It was so much fun being able to just screw each other over, which we did. With the different Kirby abilities, there's one with a bunch of spikes, so it's like the rock, so you stay in place, but like if another Kirby hits you, he gets hurt and he bounces away and he loses an extra stroke before he has to sit out a turn. So it was just so much fun to be able to have like this back and forth, and at the end of it, it was never like we wanted to strangle each other. I'm pretty sure we got in arguments about it. I'm sure we probably did. But it was never like, I want to kill you because you keep screwing me over. It was always just such a fun time playing this game. It was always so enjoyable. But yeah, I don't know if you guys have ever played Kirby's Dream Course or if you've heard of it. But if you guys are interested, while I don't own a copy of the game, I used to own a copy of the game. I still have the ability to stream it. So if you guys are interested, come and check out the Kinda OK Gamers at twitch.tv/Kinda OK Gamers. And tonight, this evening, I will go ahead and I will stream this game at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I don't know for how long. But I'll go ahead and I'll stream a little bit of Kirby's Dream Course so you guys can kind of get a feel of the game and how much I enjoyed it. So again, as always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and tune in next time.